All right, folks. I know it's hard to believe, but it seems to be the case that Jimmy Dore has somehow managed to hit a new low. I don't even know how that's possible. But you guys know about the situation going on, which YouTube responded to. Carlos Maza from Vox is basically someone who is being harassed by Steven Crowder, and he posted video footage of Steven Crowder just using a bunch of, basically insulting him based on his sexuality, calling him things like a lispy queer, for example, which is really horrible. And basically, it's just bullying, harassment, and also incitement to harassment, because obviously then his, thousands of fans go and raid Carlos. And this is super weird, right? Jimmy Dore decides to defend Steven Crowder. So this is a 12 and a half minute video. If I remember, I'll try to link it in the description box, because I'm not going to show you the whole thing because it's too long. But he just he goes on this really long diatribe, which is really terrible. And it actually sums up everything that there is to know about Jimmy Dore. And I'll explain why, and why there's no reason to watch this guy. So he actually also deleted this. So whenever he does a live stream, he makes it available only for patrons. And apparently this part has been cut out at this point. So it looks like he deleted it. But let's check this out.
So she links to a guy who's upset at Trey Crowder, who comes after that guy, and
his name's not Trey Crowder, Steven Crowder. Trey Crowder's actually the liberal dude.
Literally says, "I wish YouTube would stop giving a platform like this to people." That's the guy. Wow. So this guy Carlos Maza says, "I wish YouTube would stop." If you click here, watch this. So if you click here, so he's upset at Trey Crowder. Now, I don't pay much attention to Trey Crowder. He seems like a jackass to me, and his politics are backwards. So you actually ignore him, which is what I do. I actually ignore him.
Well, he doesn't talk about you. He made videos that got millions of views harassing this guy based on his sexuality. He's never made a video about you, nor has he harassed you for being gay. Obviously, he's not gay, but Jimmy Dore isn't, so...
I don't tweet about anybody I don't like that I'm ignoring. I block them, and I never mention their names.
That's right. That's right.
Holy shit.
Okay. Hang on. Don't... Hold on.
And then he gets some technical problems.
With the okay, here it is. YouTube wants to have its cake with harassment policy that signals it's kindly, sweet, and pro-gay, and eat it too with the levels of traffic generated by inflammatory content. Those two goals are irreconcilable. So he's saying that YouTube wants to have its cake and eat it too. It wants to say it's friendly because it has harassment policies that signals it's kind and sweet and pro-gay. But in practice, it lets people harass people. That's called journalism. Journalism is printing something someone else doesn't want printed. The rest is fucking public relations. That they're just complaining and so that's why. So he saying YouTube, you can't have people who. What about fucking? What did every mainstream news media just do for 2.5 years? They pushed an evidence-free conspiracy theory, red baiting the president. Somehow you're better than YouTube?
What?
You guys are you are the moral superior of no one. Mainstream news journalists, especially a motherfucker from Vox.
Hey, the Nixon administration accused...
I don't even know what's wrong with Vox, but he uploads his videos onto YouTube. And this is what I mean, and we'll get to the other pieces of this puzzle as well here, that fully defines Jimmy Dore and his dumbassery. So right here, he literally says, "What about?" Like, the whataboutism from this guy is so infuriatingly annoying and stupid, because it never has any utility in anything, and all he does is just whataboutism. So we're talking about right now an issue in which Carlos Maza from Vox, who uploads his videos to YouTube, was being harassed by Steven Crowder, in which he was calling him things like a lispy queer. So direct harassment and bullying based on his sexual orientation. And what the fuck does that have to do with Russiagate and your religious fanaticism of being anti-Russiagate or whatever, or any of this stuff? It literally has nothing to do with that. So he literally even says the phrase "what about," so it's it couldn't be more clear-cut whataboutism.
Ben Bradley in the Washington Post of partisan anti-American sentiment for publishing the Pentagon Papers.
Yes. Yep.
That's what you do. You don't like what somebody's saying, you attack all these other things so that they're not talking about the very thing they're calling you out on.
No, you're an idiot, dude. He's talking about the very fucking thing he was saying. He shows video of Steven Crowder calling him a lispy queer, among other things, and using derogatory statements about his sexual orientation. So that's his problem with it, and that's exactly what the fuck they're talking about. What the hell are you saying? And what do the Pentagon Papers have to do with this? Dude, we're talking about YouTube, Steven Crowder, and gay harassment. How do you extrapolate that to the Nixon administration, Watergate, and the Pentagon Papers? How do you do that? There's no connection even remotely. These guys talk about random shit in lieu of like actual stuff to talk about that's relevant to the situation and the circumstances and what's going on. They just bro, we're talking about like, we're talking about going back to the 60s, going into some bogey ass shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that have to do with this?
Here's another one. This has been going on for years, and I've tried to flag this shit on several occasions, but YouTube is never going to actually enforce its policies because Crowder has 3 million YouTube subscribers, and enforcing their rules would get them accused of anti-conservative bias. Which is all to say, I work my fucking ass off to create smart, thorough, engaging content for YouTube, a company that claims to give a shit about LGBT creators. And it's miserable to have that same company helping facilitate a truly mind-melting amount of direct harassment. Really? Is this what you're complaining? It's funny. My family sees this shit.
Wow.
Oh, really?
It's funny, huh? Being called a lispy queer and being harassed based on your sexuality. How the fuck have we come to this point, you guys? Like how we're watching Jimmy Dore right here make fun of a guy, clown a guy who's being harassed based on his sexuality, being called a lispy queer, and this fuckface, right? I don't know if Jimmy Dore was dropped on his head as a baby, if someone threw a rock at his head. What the fuck is wrong with this guy where his brain is just so fucking retarded? It's so insane, dude. How could you defend someone harassing someone based on their sexuality, bro? And you call yourself a progressive? You think that's progressivism? Oh my god, how fucking stupid.
Really?
Yes,
What
really.
about the families of the 85,000 kids that have been killed in Yemen? What about those?
What the fuck does this have to do with the war in Yemen, dude? That's an entirely separate issue. All of this is garbage whataboutism, and it's clear this guy's this other fuckface is a dumbass too. What about this? What about this? What about the water bottle I just drank 10 hours ago? That has nothing to do with this. There is no connection between the war in Yemen and Steven Crowder and Carlos Maza and harassment based on sexuality. They're entirely different things with zero link whatsoever. And it makes no sense why you're bringing this up. There's nothing to do with it. Seriously, nothing.
Families.
Really? Really?
Yes, really.
My
Shithead.
family sees this shit. I had to explain to my much younger sister what the fuck a Steven Crowder is and ask my siblings not to respond. I had to explain to my nephew what a fucking news dupe is who pushes war for a fucking military-industrial complex 24/7. I had to explain to them that Wolf Blitzer, Jake Tapper, Rachel Maddow, and Chris Hayes are warmongers and they're tools of the establishment, and that's why they'll never tell you the truth, which is why we have Trump as president.
Dude, is this guy like a broken recorder? Like, you say the same shit over and over again. How do you not get tired of yourself, dude? Don't you get tired of saying the same dumb shit all the fucking time? It's so incredibly boring. What the hell does this have to do with whatever you deem to be news dupes in the mainstream media? What the fuck does that have to do with a guy who works at Vox, who uploads his fucking videos to YouTube, and is being harassed and called a lispy queer, amongst other things, by Steven Crowder on YouTube? How are those things even remotely linked? They're not. This has nothing to do with that. It is entirely whataboutism, and he's clowning the idea like that this guy has to explain to his his whatever he said, I think his little sister and stuff, like who this guy is who's using who's harassing him and calling him a lispy queer. How is that something to act like is like willy-nilly nothing? Like, and you call yourself a progressive, you stupid cunt?
I had to explain that to my nephew.
Oh my God.
My family sees this shit. This guy, what a snowflake this fucking guy is.
Oh yeah, what a snowflake, being harassed based on your sexuality, being called a lispy queer. What a snowflake you are. Let's just go around calling black people N-words now too, dude. Fuck it, right? You snowflake. You dummy.
This isn't about silencing conservatives. I don't give a flying fuck if conservatives on YouTube disagree with me. Sounds like you do. But
no,
by
that's not what it is. That's obviously based on the harassment that he's receiving.
refusing to enforce its anti-harassment policy, YouTube is...
I like how they're laughing at it. Oh my God, dude. They're laughing at a dude who's a victim of harassment based on his sexuality. They're laughing at this guy.
helping incredibly powerful cyberbully. I'm being bullied, Carlos Maza. Jesus H fucking Christ. Anyway, if you want to help, I guess you can go to this dude's videos and flag them. But YouTube isn't going to do anything because YouTube does not give a fuck about queer creators.
True.
It cares about engagement. And homophobic, racist harassment is very engaging.
True.
Again, the problem isn't Crowder. There will always be a fucking assholes trying to get attention by being bigots. The problem is that YouTube is designed to give those assholes a megaphone, push new followers in their direction, and keep them listening. It's a weapon. Uh-oh. Sounds like he wants to get rid of YouTube. Let's see.
How dumb can you be, dude? How could you be reading that? This is what I mean when I tell you Jimmy Dore is an idiot. Like, he's genuinely not a smart person, and he admits it. Like, you do not watch this guy for any semblance of intelligence because he just spouts like random shit that's on repeat over and over and over again. And it's incredibly boring. But like, how could you be reading that thread and be like, oh, he wants to get... You dumbass. He uploads his fucking videos to YouTube, dude. And this is the problem. This guy talks about stuff he literally doesn't know anything about. He's totally uneducated on this topic, and he's talking about a thread, and you'll see here, this is hilarious.
Harassment isn't siloed either. Every time he makes one of these videos, his fans flood the comments on the original Fox video. So a piece I spent 4 weeks working on is drowning in homophobic and abusive comments and downvotes. Other Fox fans see it. It's humiliating. What is wrong with you? What is fucking wrong with you?
Yeah, man. What's wrong with you? Why do you object to someone calling you a lispy queer, dude? Ha! Grow a pair of balls, bro. Ha!
Are you kidding me? You're upset that people are downvoting your videos? And you're humiliated? What in the fucking fuck is wrong with you? Now, I haven't seen any of those videos, and I haven't seen anything Steven Crowder or Trey Crowder, whatever his name is. Is it Steven?
I think it was Steven.
Yeah.
I don't know anything he does, and I don't know what he. But you're upset that people are downvoting your fucking.
See, this is okay. See, this is full circle. Okay, this is all you need to know about Jimmy Dore. Okay, Jimmy Dore is somebody who, all of his videos are just rampantly laden with a shit ton of whataboutism, where he just brings up random shit that has nothing to do with the subject at hand. And he literally says, what about, and then just fills in the blank with some random event. We're talking here about Carlos Maza from Vox and Steven Crowder, Steven Clam Chowder. And and he says, what about the war in Yemen? What the fuck does this have to do with the war in Yemen? What the fuck does this have to do with Russiagate? This has nothing to do with any of that shit. So he does random, completely random, there's no reason for this whataboutism to exist, okay? He just uses random fucking whataboutism, and he talks about issues that he's completely uneducated on. So you're basically watching a guy who just says something to the tune of, oh, the establishment, the Democratic Party, the DNC, Hillary Clinton, and keep going with that line of thought. And he just spews a bunch of random shit in that direction. And then you are seeing somebody who doesn't know anything. So he just reveals there, he doesn't know the guy's name. He doesn't even know if it's Trey or Steven. So the guy that he's taught, the one of the people in this back and forth, in this thread that he's reading, he doesn't even know the name of Steven Crowder. And then on top of that, he literally says he hasn't seen the videos. How the fuck are you going to comment on something without having seen the videos, you fucking imbecile? How stupid do you have to be you're giving your opinion on something you are woefully uneducated on? Seriously, how do you comment on something you haven't read, haven't seen the video of, much less know the goddamn creator who made those videos? One half of the piece here of the people, which is 2 people, you don't even know his name. And you're talking about the issue. This guy is a fucking idiot. I don't know if he's dropped on his head as a baby. I don't know if he's had too much alcohol, but this guy is stupid as fuck. He's a recorder that's playing nonstop the same shit over and over again. And it's incredibly boring. I've lost complete interest. I even unsubscribed. His content is not interesting in the least. Just some video about, oh, look at this Hillary clip from 2012, or look at this clip of Obama from 2004 or 2006, and it's like, oh my god, dude, so fucking annoying and incredibly unproductive and does literally nothing. But I will link the whole video to you because there's still like 6.5 minutes of this left, so go watch the whole thing. You'll really want to hurt yourself after watching because of how frustratingly stupid it is. But a lot of Jimmy Dore's content does that, though. He's really dumb. So real progressive of you, Jimmy Dore, to defend harassment of someone based on their sexuality. Real progressive of you, buddy. Good job, Jimmy.